This episode of Sleep It Off is brought to you by our Patreon. Everything we do here on the Pokemon Professor Network is powered by our community. You can join our community of supporters and patrons for as little as $1 a month. We offer a range of support tiers and various benefits. All patrons will gain access to our Patreon exclusive Discord, which is a fantastic place filled with fantastic people. Good morning, Pokemon Sleep researchers, and welcome to episode 18 of Sleep It Off. Sleep It Off is part of the Pokemon Professor Network, and today is Wednesday, March 26, 2025. I am one of your hosts, Luis, and my co-host, Justin.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm very tired, so I'm gonna go take a nap real quick after this.
Oh, you're berry tired? Well, that leads us into our deep dive later about berry finders.
Yes.
See what I did there?
Oh man, gotta love those segues. Anyways, so we got some news, so we got some stuff to talk about, and we have our feelings about the last few weeks. It's been a couple of weeks since we recorded, right?
Yeah, there was a couple. We had it was basically right after Pokemon Day we recorded, and then I was busy, you were busy. Not a whole lot of news was happening, and so then we were just like, we'll hold off until it's the right time. And now we're preparing for our first legendary event of the year, so it's the right time.
Yay! It might be the only one aside from Darkrai, right?
Yeah. So in the interim, it might be the only legendary event. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe Darkrai. Stay tuned. But what have you been up to game-wise and life-wise since the last time we talked?
Life was just, cruising along, just like always. Just trying to, get
No
things
more
ready.
extravagant trips to play Pokemon.
Not yet, though.
Yeah, soon we'll find out if we got our tickets to go to Pokemon Worlds. Who knows?
Oh yeah, we got to go to those worlds. I mean, it will be my first worlds actually. Have you ever gone to a worlds?
I have not. I considered going. Where was it last year?
What's
Hawaii?
that? Yeah,
Hawaii.
Hawaii, right? Yeah.
I was thinking about going, but it was too close to like my wedding and stuff, and I didn't have the time off, so we said forget it.
Yeah, I figure. Yeah, never really planned a worlds because they're the most of the times when I feel like I can go is in another country, and that's too expensive, and at the same time I really can't make it out of there. But this few times they're coming in California, so I mean it doesn't seem too bad if I can get a ticket to it. So
Yeah, I'm certainly gonna try. I put my name in. I was like, all right, any day plus 3-day pass. I'll take anything, whatever I can get.
yeah, any day will be fine. I think I'm probably gonna do Saturday, just so that way I can come back on Sunday and have no issues then.
Well, yes, but that's if you get the Saturday pass.
Yeah, which is probably the most
Thought after.
yeah. I could try Sunday, but then I have to go to an overnight flight and everything. That would have been crazy. But anyhow, we're here to talk about Pokemon Sleep, and maybe we'll have an April Fool's again, but you never know.
Oh, that's right. That's coming up. Oh, I'm really hoping there's another follow-up to last year's April Fool's video.
Please.
And if you haven't seen that, I will link that in the show notes. It was a great video. Such high quality for an April Fool's Day joke. It was like the sleep off challenge.
It was the sleep off like tournament or the world tournament or something.
Yeah. Oh man, it was great.
It was good times.
They really had to sleep it off. Bazinga.
Yes. All right. Well, on today's podcast, we do have the recap of the psychic event. So that way we can share our feelings about how things went and what we got, really. We have the Cresselia and versus Darkrai full event info for you guys. So we'll go over that and, of course, what Cresselia will entitle for the abilities and everything from it. And then some information about our maintenance from last night, at least on the recording of this podcast. We had some pretty interesting information. Well, of course, we'll talk about our deep dives with berry finders this time. Make sure we know which one you have to look forward to catch on your sleeps. Of course, our wonderful Dream Text Detective, which is hopefully he gets it right. We never know. And that's pretty much it for today.
Nice. Yeah. And so last episode, we talked a lot about the previous legendary events and what we thought about them and our game strategy about those compared to this. So if you want to hear about that, go check out the previous episode, episode 17.
Mm-hmm. That is right. But this time, it's time to talk psychic. You know, our minds were being controlled, and now we're here. I don't know. At the same time, we actually had Muna and Musharna full release into the game, so now we have our berry finding.
Yeah. So question about you for you, Luis. What did you know about Muna and Musharna before this event? Just like Pokemon lore, anything.
So I know that, of course, they are the the dream Pokemon, similar to Cresselia, but Cresselia is more like the healing Pokemon in that sense. Mm. But Muna and Musharna, they're basically the dreamer. Now, if in Generation 5, Muna was, or I think, no, Musharna more than anything, because the evolution was thing, it was something that I will play in the, it was some kind of like mini game that you can play on the 2DS, or I'm sorry, the DS at the time. And you can actually connect to the web browser or something, like the internet connection. And if you do like a sleep session or something, it would actually bring you Pokemons. And that was the only time you can get specific forms of the genies, Landorus, Thundurus, and Tornadus. They're other forms. They're like Therian forms.
Yeah.
They're specific forms. So those were the only times where you can do. And Musharna was kind of like the dream Pokemon for that reason. It would just actually put you into the sleep clouds or whatever. And that at the time, being able to get those Pokemons was a huge thing in the competitive Pokemon scene because they were so powerful when they were released.
So you're saying people actually needed or wanted Muna and Musharna?
Yes, it was something that was helping them at the time.
I see. See, I never played Gen 5. I only experienced Gen 5 through Pokemon Go. So my experience with Muna and Musharna is very limited. I just go based off what they look like, and what they look like is creepy.
Yeah, that's true. I was not expecting the sleep styles that we encountered this time around, though.
Yeah.
Muna's is okay, but Musharna's is creepy.
Yeah.
Just like looking at it. If you ever has actually seen it, but at the same time, have you ever gone to sleep with your eyes open? That's basically it. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh, yeah. No, too much.
But yeah, the Moon and Musharna basically were just a little lore when it comes down to the sleep, the dreams of the world and things like that. So that's one reason why they were important in some ways. But I guess it makes sense to put them in the game. That was one Pokemon that I completely forgot, just because after that it's mostly a forgettable Pokemon aside from his shiny. So
that's good to know.
Yeah.
I do none of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
right.
How was the Psychic event week and the other off weeks for you? Did you get anything good? Did you have fun? Did you take Psychic week to the fullest?
I'm gonna say I had it like at 80% capacity this time around. For some reason, I don't know why, the week before I went full on like I'm gonna do a camping ticket and I'm just gonna like do my Clawsire Eclair dessert the entire week and everything. So by the time I finished the week, I didn't have any ingredients left. Yeah. So I was like, well, that's not good. Luckily, during the Psychic week, I went to Lapis and I was able to get desserts again. So technically, I didn't have to change the team, but I did not use a camping ticket this time. I just went and did a recipe that I wanted to power up, which was no, that wasn't the macaroons. It was the one before that. Let me remember the name of it because I forgot.
The Clodsire cream puff?
No, the tea times corns.
Oh, the corn scones. Yes.
Yeah. I'm able to actually get that because I don't need to use a camping ticket to.
Yeah. Or use. Do you use Expand Pot? Do you have like a Flareon or something?
I do, but I haven't really like touched on them that very much. Just because, I mean, I have enough camping tickets that I really don't need to use them anytime soon. Plus, I don't use camping ticket if I need to, so. Nice.
I do not have that luxury. I use my camping tickets. Well, I use my one that I get for the monthly premium pass. Mm-hmm. And then occasionally I buy them with diamonds, but not that often.
Yeah. No, I really, well, how many do I have right now? I have 3 of them right now.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so I'm set for any big events, just like the one that's coming
Oh,
up.
nice. Because, yeah, one of the tips, if you have camping tickets, use them during the event.
Hmm.
But so for me, honestly, I was bored during the psychic week.
Really?
Like I had other things going on. I was preparing to go to Boston for these two card shows where I was helping my friend Adam at he's co-host of the Special Conditions podcast with me, and he's been doing these card shows. And I was like, hey, it'd be fun to come do one sometime. Maybe offload some of my trading card collection, offset some of the cost of the trip, and it was a good time.
Nice.
So, which meant it was easy for me to have a chill week in the game, where I'm still cooking, I'm still researching, but I'm not like checking the game several times a day, trying to make sure I get all my meals, doing the biggest meals possible. Because like when I'm really playing, I'm using expand pot all the time during non camping ticket weeks, good camping ticket weeks, and I'm trying for those top dishes. But this time I was just like, whatever. I don't really care about these psychic Pokemon. I have a good Gardevoir I fully invested in. I I have a Wobbuffet that already don't use. It is have Berry Finding S, which is nice, but I I actually have an Espeon that I caught wild forever ago. That if I do use an Espeon, will be that one because it has Speed of Help up and Skill Trigger M. The problem is it's EXP down. I don't have candies to get to level 50.
Really?
So,
Not enough EV candies for an Espeon? That's interesting.
well, well, I've invested in other EVs.
You're
My
right.
Glaceon is at level 42, and my
Ooh.
and my Flareon is at level 60.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
So I only have enough candies to get it to like level 41. And
Hmm.
I have some rare candies, but that's not enough with EXP down.
Yeah. Also, actually, since we're in the topic of ESP and everything, something that we will be talking about aside from the maintenance that we had, it's actually a little change to the speeded down nature,
Oh yeah,
which
that is a good point.
yeah,
I'm waiting to see the feedback on that and how much it actually changes, and maybe it's not
it could be
the
worth it.
horrible nerf that we all thought it was.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, did you catch anything good? I didn't really catch anything worthwhile from the Psychic Week itself. I did catch several like evolved forms because I love doing that. Where if I get a hungry, like I got a hungry Dragonair and caught it, that was fun. Now the Dragonair wasn't that great, but it was fun to catch. I caught a hungry Curlia, that was fun, but again, not that great.
Yeah, I did catch mostly the Munas, of course. One of the, I think it was either the second or the third Muna that I got. It was a mono milk Muna, so pretty good on that. One thing I think we forgot to mention, the Muna gets the Dream Shard magnet, which is
Hmm.
not the greatest, but since it's a berry finding, you really don't have to worry about it. It will just be an added bonus to
Yeah,
its
which is
ability.
nice.
So the Muna that I got, it has Skill Trigger M, which again is an added plus. It has berry
Nice.
finding at 25.
Oh, lucky.
It does have Ingredient Finder M at 50, so not a rush to get to level 50 at that point.
Hmm.
A skill level up S, which again,
Yeah,
at C it
it's
gives it
okay.
to
It's
M.
not a negative. It's
Yep.
slightly a
And then
positive.
I know that it's not yet. We're probably gonna get there in the next 3 years. Level 100 gets helping bonus too. So berry finding
Oh,
and helping bonus in the same Pokemon.
dang. Yeah,
So
so
no
my
bad nature.
Muna.
It's not neutral nature, by the way.
So here's my Muna. I'm gonna show it right here. It's pretty darn good. If only I could swap the sub skills around,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because it's got inventory up at level 10, skill trigger M at 25, energy recovery bonus at 50, berry finding S is not till 75, and then
Mm-hmm.
skill level up M at 100. It has a
Which I
modest
would.
nature, speed of
Mhm.
help down, which we just
Mhm.
talked about that changing.
Yeah. Now, based on how we're looking into the updates, which I think they didn't mention that we're gonna get a new rank pretty soon too.
Yes, level 60 to 65. I don't know when that's happening,
Yeah.
but it should be theoretically soon.
Yeah. So knowing that that's coming, and most likely we still have the rest of the year for
Hmm.
most of the updates. I would think that we'll probably get to level 75 before the end of the year, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just a prediction. I've been right before, though.
Yeah.
After that, I really haven't gotten too many things. I did actually catch a mono corn stuffle. It's actually something I've
nice.
been looking for forever.
I know you'd been looking for that. Yeah.
And it has Mother's Nature too, so it has ingredient finder up. So I was like, yes.
Very nice. Yeah. I didn't catch anything useful. I did catch a couple shinies. They were ghost Pokemon of all things.
Oh, shinies?
A shiny Haunter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's very cute with his little blue tongue.
Eh.
And a shiny Banette.
Nice.
With its, the blue puppet.
Mm-hmm. I've been in a drought of shiny since probably a couple weeks now. So I haven't seen
Actually, my shiny Banette isn't half bad because it has Helping Speed M and Speed of Help Up Nature.
Decent. Very decent. Of course, it would be better if it was a very finding, but
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I did actually catch a Weavile that I was hungry. I think I was hungry. And I created it, actually, now that I think about it. It has Speed of Hell up, main skill chance down, which technically I kind of want that. But it has Very Finding at level 50. So could be a good investment. It does have, ingredient finder at level 10.
You caught it as a Weavile?
Yeah, so it's already fully evolved at that point.
Which is actually theoretically better because your inventory is lower and you sneaky snack faster.
True that. But yeah, after that, nothing much to report in that front, at least. Is that a good one? No, it's not. It's semi-okay. Anyways, but yeah, aside from that, Psychic Week, I really thought there was going to be a little bit more to it. They met the eye, but in the end of the day, I think it was just the release of Muna, and that's pretty much it. So, all right. Well, we do have some news to talk about.
Yes. Let's get to the news. So, first, let's talk about maintenance. Everyone's favorite thing. Woo-hoo. Hooray. So, this is from GoHub by Kitty Pokemon's a lot. Pokemon Sleep version 2.6.0. And if you checked into your game today, you had to update the app and download some new data. At least I did.
Yeah, me too.
And so really it's just preparing for the upcoming event, getting some assets into the game. There's a new alarm sound of "Let's Go." Oh, that's fun. And then they're also preparing to commemorate the World Sleep Day.
Which I thought it was actually this month, but I guess it's next month.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. And then, so, increase the number of candies received after sleep research. The number of candies you receive when researching sleep styles will increase by 1 or 2. Interesting. That's good. Because I'm always hurting for candies, especially now that we're going to be having level 65 Pokemon very soon.
Mm-hmm.
That just is so daunting. It's incredible. Yes. Adjustments to sleep research rewards. If you conduct sleep research twice in one day and research at least 11 Pokemon in a single day, the rewards for the 11th and any subsequent Pokemon will be less as follows. 1 Pokemon candy and half the usual number of Dream Shards and Research EXP.
So, they're nerfing naps.
That's what it sounds like to me. The other thing is maybe it would help you if you reversed your nap sessions. Does that make sense? I'm trying to think about this.
So you think that it's better to do a full session first and then a nap afterwards, or how is that working?
Yeah, I don't. Let me think about that.
I do want to at least mention while you think of this is that I believe that is also if you get to the point where more than 10 Pokemon are spawning or more than 11 Pokemon spawn. So if it does happen where you are taking a nap and you are at high level power to see that many Pokemons, that's when the nerf is gonna happen, not before. Before you can just take a nap and you'll see the same amount of Pokemons. Maybe you'll still have the same amount of Dream Shards. Who knows? That seems like that's the case, just because it feels like it needs to meet both conditions. But you never know until we hear a little feedback from everybody. So
Yeah, no, I think it's really just trying to nerf the nap sessions so that way just discourage it from being used.
sure.
And then this thing we had talked about earlier, the speed of help down modifiers are going to be tempered a little bit. The bold, modest, calm, and timid natures. So the speed of help down not being so terrible. Because honestly, it's terrible.
Yeah, definitely something that you don't want to get. Now, it's not like it's gonna make a difference in the long run. We do have to see more numbers apply to the Pokemons that we currently have. We know that Raynax is probably already updating all of that as we speak. But it's still something that we wouldn't recommend you having on a Pokemon if it doesn't have something that counters to it, you know? So I think that's how we want to see it in the end of the day.
That was
After
pretty
that,
much it. Oh,
yep.
and then the instances you get as weekly rewards are changing for Greengrass Isle, Cyan Beach, Topalo, Snowdrop, Tundra.
Which I'm okay with them changing it in the first 4 islands we got before they change it to the new ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That is maintenance for y'all. So Cresselia.
Oh, is that what we're here to talk about?
I know, right? It's like you were in my mind right here. I tell you, these psychic Pokemons are crazy.
Yeah, no, and here I was just sleeping on it.
So we do have information about the full-on event of Cresselia versus Darkrai. And of course, we do have information about Cresselia's and its main skill and Drowsy, or not Drowsy, but sleep style in that sense. So Justin, if you can put in the magical page.
Yes, I'm just trying to organize it real quick. Okay.
You probably gotta cut that out anyway. So there we are. All right, so thanks to
Banana Tanks.
Thank you very much for the infographics here. We do have where Cresselia is gonna spawn in every island imaginable, so that's pretty nice. So it doesn't matter if you go to Greengrass, No Tundra, Lapis, or anything like that. Everything will happen to be the case. However, after the event, after the 2 weeks of events actually, it's only going to spend on Greengrass Isle, Snowdrop Tundra, and Lapis Lakeside. So,
and then here on the screen, we're showing the psychic spawns that will spawn there.
Yes. Now that I think about it, I still feel like Muna and Musharna doesn't give us too many psychic Pokemons anymore.
Oh yeah, so Muna and Musharna only spawn at Greengrass and Lapis.
Yeah.
And all OGPP. Okay. Yeah. So on the screen, we're showing essentially from if we start at the beginning, Greengrass, Cyan Beach, then Topalo, what's Snowdrop Tundra, Lapis Lakeside, then OGPP. It goes 5, 2, 3, 2, 8, and 4 spawns respectively.
Yeah, so basically just don't go to Snowdrop Tundra this week
or Cyan Beach.
Yeah, I don't want to see those Mr. Mimes anytime soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, if
I had heard of a strategy about if you go to an island with less of the psychic spawns, you might be more likely to get the legendary. And I'm like, that just seems crazy and far-fetched and not my style.
I told you, the leaks are there.
Yeah. But
So, yeah. So my thing is like just go to the one that gives you the most spawns and psychic Pokemon. So definitely the Ralts line, the Buna line, and Lapis Lakeside is definitely the best way to go about it. Espion is still a pretty good Pokemon, so we'll figure that out when we get there. Then we have Cresselia's main skill, Lunar Blessing, which how did I not know that was going to be the name of this skill? It's actually an energy for everyone. It's kind of like a plus to it because it's a hybrid of Helping Boost and Teen Healing.
Ooh, I like this because I was never interested in using Help or Boost,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm always interested in team healing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we know that at least when it comes down to healing, the best Pokemons are out there, but Cresselia will be a hybrid of this, knowing that it's gonna help your team. However, it's gonna be really hard to actually get all the main skills for this Pokemon to happen. Just because it is a one-stage evolution Pokemon, so it's not gonna have anything. It's a legendary Pokemon for that reason. So you're gonna have to if you get a really good one, you're gonna have to invest a lot of main skill seeds on this if you really want to be taking advantage of it in the end of the day.
Well, to be fair, you get boosted the 1 level for the first week of the event, and then you get boosted 3 levels for the second week. So it's really not that bad.
True, but you're gonna catch one still. So
yeah, and so this next point for during the event, 1.2 times Drowsy Power when Cresselia is on your team. Event bonus only. So that being said, unlike the usual gameplay where I like to get the incense and the biscuits and then hope that the legendary shows up and becomes hungry and then just feed the biscuits that way. Instead, I'm actually going to target using a master biscuit to catch one right away and then have it on my team so I have the increased drowsy power for the rest of the event.
I agree 100% on that.
Yeah, so this will be the first time I'm actually targeting to use a master biscuit since probably the Entei event, because I used one during Raikou, maybe 2. I may have used 2 during Raikou. I used 1 during Entei, and then I was just like, I'm out on this. Because I wasn't seeing the benefit because, like the first one was never really that great. And I'm just like, I wasted my Master Biscuit. So then I just haven't bought a Master Biscuit since then. I skipped them during Suicune. But now I'm gonna use one again for this week.
I mean, you could get lucky and get a shiny right off the bat.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Well, that too. But here's the thing. Do you remember that the very first Cresselia you catch is going to be the same one for everybody? So it's going to be a somewhat decent, not the greatest kind of Cresselia with skills here and there. So, I mean, getting a shiny on the first one is great because that way you get out of the way. But you kind of want to have a better one if you are able to catch one. So that's when your Master Biscuit will come in handy in that sense. So... we're also going to accumulate a Ben Drowsy Power, which is a global challenge that is going to be on everybody for the Ben rank rewards, which we'll talk a little bit more how those rewards are in the next slide, I believe. But yes, just go to sleep, everybody, please. We need that Drowsy Power. We want to try to complete this as soon as possible once we actually get to that. So I'm sure Pokemon Sleep will catch us on the I guess how far are we along in the challenge and things like that, but I don't remember how much do we actually need to complete it.
I don't know. And then slightly greater appearance rates to all psychic Pokemon. Different sleep types will appear regardless of your own. So if you're like me and you consistently hit snoozing like the entire week and then you like never differentiate and you're like, I need slumbering. Then now you don't have to worry about it. Just whatever your normal thing is whatever your normal thing is.
Yep, I agree. Thank God for those pseudo balance. All right, so the event, of course, is from the 31st to the 14th, so starting next Monday as a recording of this podcast. The Psychic Berry, the Mago Berry, will be set for favorite berry on all the areas that you're gonna be to, because Cresselia is going to spawn in everything for the first week or 2. And then we also have Psychic type Pokemon bonuses. So just like Chris, Justin has mentioned, 1+ ingredient per ingredient production, and then 1.5 main skill chance, or main skill level boosted by 1 in week 1 and 3 in week 2. So it's gonna be really strong in week 2. That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's really gonna boost it. I'm really just interested in the psychic type bonus for Cresselia, and I guess Gardevoir for the skill chance, but there's no other Pokemon I'm really targeting to use. Maybe I'll use a Mr. Mime for the tomatoes.
It really depends also on what ingredients or on what dishes are you going to planning to actually make. That's the reason
Oh,
why you want to stack up on your travel
yes.
tickets. So
I guess I'll also probably use my level 30 Espeon.
I was like about to say that too. I that too.
I'll probably give it a since I did realize I'm probably just gonna actually use this one. I'll give it a C or two.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably give it two. That way it could be a level 4 this week and then a level 6 next week.
That'd be nice.
It
Very,
could be
very
fun.
nice. Yeah. We'll be collecting samples, which is the Cresselia down. It is the research that you are able to get from sleep research only on the first session. So that's the reason why I can think they're really
Get it
discouraging naps, but that's the reason.
down like a down pillow.
Yeah,
Down.
basically. I know, right? Cresselia down. I don't know why the hell
Yeah,
did they do that.
yeah. Well, it'd be
What do you
weird
mean?
if they said mains.
I would say better feathers, right? I mean, Cresselia is kind of like a flying Pokemon.
Yeah, that's the problem when they're always like animated.
Yeah,
They don't really have any texture. It's just like a cartoon weird banana boat looking moon thing.
that's true. That's true. Of course, the limited time missions and event rank and research community will be available to be able to get some Cresselias down. So make sure you have those level 5 friends ready to go because those are very important for this.
Yes, and they have improved those over the legendary events because it used to be like you barely got anything from your friends, and now each event it feels like you get more and more.
Correct. Correct. You will be able to exchange the samples in the event shop for Cresselia incense, Cresselia biscuits, and the main skill seeds, and plenty more, of course.
Yeah,
But
don't
those are
sleep on this event shop. It has some of the best items you can get in the game, and a lot of times, especially if you're a free to play player or you only buy the premium pass, there's a lot of stuff that you normally have to pay diamonds for that are in this shop for relatively cheap.
That's right. That is right. Cresselia biscuits can be fed to Cresselia only and provide 6 hearts, and
Nice.
and way more if you actually get a crit. So that'd be nice.
And if you forget to use all your Cresselia biscuits, don't do it. But if you do forget, they get converted to great biscuits and are, therefore only worth 3 hearts after that.
Correct.
So here, another graphic provided by Banana Tanks, and it just talks about the usual exchange rates for items in the shop. And then as well as the missions and what you typically get for them.
Oh,
So in the missions, it's basically as you level up during the week, basic 2, ultra 5, master 1, master 3, that type of stuff. You get the down along the way, giving out 50 biscuits, use 7 incense, the usual. Cook 12 times, use 100 candies, that type of stuff. Stick to your bedtime. Yeah.
I mean, it
And
helps out a lot to get those extra downs or whatever you have. So,
and then there is a typo in this graphic. It says February 14th and February 16th. It means April.
yeah, no, I kind of figured that when I saw it. So,
It threw me off.
mm-hmm.
And
Well,
then
we do have the incense, yeah.
I was gonna say it also shows, the incense. You typically get 80 downs is like the lowest for the incense, and then week 2 you can have 70 downs for an incense. And then, the biscuits, they're 60 and 50 for a couple of them, and after that they double in price.
Yeah. Definitely try to use or get many as the incense that you can. However, you do have to remember you can only carry 1 incense at a time, so you cannot get another one until you use the one you already have. You cannot stack them, unfortunately, which is something I guess it's always gonna be a thing. So
Yeah. Also, another thing I was thinking about, if you have leftover legendary instances from previous events, those provide you a large amount of mains for research time. So you could get, like 30 mains if you used a Raikou instance, for example.
right.
Because I don't know if about you, but at the end, sometimes I would buy these instances and hold on to them for a rainy day, and that rainy day hadn't come yet. But maybe
Yeah, I
it's
know.
time.
It is time, yes. Do what you can, really. With all the tips that we're giving you, usually you can maximize the amount of downs that you're going to be getting for the event. So you should be able to about 80% clear the shop, if that's the event shop for that case.
Mm-hmm.
You may not be able to get everything, but however, you don't really have to. Let's say you do get a very good Cresselia, then there's no point of getting another instance. Maybe just one, just in case, for if you want to look into for a shiny one in that sense. But
Mm-hmm.
there's really no reason to count another one once you have that one. After that, focus on the other event items. I mean, the main skill set for sure, the Moonstone, those premium items are really always going to be helpful in the long run once we actually get either more evolutions or more Pokemon that you need those items for.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, and then in the shop, besides the incense and the biscuits, I'm really only targeting the main skill seed. I'm always going to buy that. I don't need a Moonstone. I'm not trying to evolve my Clefairy into Clefable, so... Oh, the Psychic Candy is good because, it's 4 versus 3.
yep.
If you need to, like, power up your Gardevoir or something, or your Cresselia for that matter. Because, you're not going to need more candy because it's not going to be that many.
That is right. That is right. All right. I think that's good there. And there's the accumulation of the global event or the global average drowsy power that we're going to have. So there's going to be tiers, of course, but each one of them will award you with specific items once we reach that tier. So 40 million drowsy power from the community will give us 30 Cresselian downs. 100 million drowsy power will give us 2, I believe that's ingredient finder M tickets, right? Or ingredient tickets.
Yeah, I'm not fully understanding how this works. I think so it says your drowsy power plus global average. So essentially it's implying you could get higher. So if you can conceivably hit above 1.7 million by the end of the week, you can hit all these rewards, right? Is that how I'm interpreting this?
I think so, because it does say both of them, but I feel like that would be the average of the world. So maybe
Yeah,
we'll
because
get there
it's
before then.
like, so your drowsy power plus the global average. So let's say your drowsy power was 30 million, but the global average was 10. Would it then be 40? That's how I'm interpreting it.
If it's like that, then we really have to plan to make sure that we have as much drowsy power this week. However, I believe this is gonna run all the way into week 2, so maybe that will
Yes,
be a
it
help.
is in this scenario, it is a 2-week event.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think we have to really play it out, and maybe by the time week 2 comes around, maybe we can have a little more information about things, or we'll talk about it in the next time we actually have the chance to talk about. So.
Okay. And then also, if you get lucky, you might encounter a shiny Cresselia, or just a Cresselia in the wild.
Woo!
Because really, I mean, that's like a free incense at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And it could spawn at every island for this event, and here's where it spawns. It's all about a drowsy power mark of 48 million for the first one for the 1 star, 134 million for 2 star, and 327 million for 3 star. That's insane.
That is crazy.
I don't know that I'm ever going to hit that.
I don't know
Well,
either.
maybe with this event bonus, maybe I'll hit it, but that's pretty crazy. I don't even know if I've ever hit that on the craziest good sleep day.
I gotta look into my game, but I think I have hit that much. I can't remember though. I'll look it up, but we can continue talking while we time.
Yeah, and then it gives it here. I'll just give you the master ranks for the 1 star at Greengrass is 9, Cyan Beach is 6, Master 6, Topalo is Master 5, the Winter Island is Master 4, Lapis Lakeside is Master 3, and OGPP is Master 2.
I mean, getting to Master 2 on JBP is not too bad, but you will be wasting most of the week just to get there. If you don't have a really, really good team either.
Yeah, and also would recommend targeting an island that you have a high bonus at. So, for example, I have 75% bonus, which is the max at Lapis Lakeside. So that's another reason why I'm going to Lapis Lakeside.
Okay.
And not OGPP.
Right.
Because I'm only at like 45% there.
Yeah, I do have quite a bit on each one of the islands. I believe I'm in the 70s right now for each island. So I've been doing okay with my somewhat goal of making sure that each island is high enough power at that point. Yeah, I'm at 70 OGPP. The highest master strength is 7. So wouldn't be a bad idea. But yeah, I believe that is everything about the Cresselia event and everything. Darkrai will be next. You never know. We'll figure out.
All right. I think it's time for a break.
Yes.
After the break, we will talk about our deep dive about berry finders, Dream Deck's Detective, and our tinfoil hat theories on how we're going to encounter Darkrai.
Let's take a nap.
All right, and welcome back. Got to do some housekeeping real quick. I want to take a moment to recognize some of our patrons. Ben, DJ Wonderbread, Espeon Willow, GK, Hall to Counselor, Joseph, Kimberly, Manny G, Noggin Dude, and Sushi Slayer. They're part of our gym leaders here on the Pokemon Professor Network. I know a couple of them play Sleep. And a huge thanks to the executive producers on the network, Monkey Bread, Kate the Cons, Lazo Boss, and Trainer Mystic. If you're interested in becoming an executive producer for this show, let us know. With tiers as low as $1 a month, you can support a collective of hardworking part-time creators that have a passion for Pokemon and podcasting here in the Pokemon Professor Network. You can hit us up on patreon.com/PokemonProfessor. You can also listen to the other podcasts on the network, like Lured Up, Special Conditions, Gotta Watch 'Em All, Way Spotters, Purified, Good Morning Johto, and After Darkrai. Make sure to check out PokemonProfessor.com for links for everywhere you can connect with us, grab some merch, or leave some reviews. Remember, 5 stars are the best stars. Luis, do you hear an echo?
No.
Okay. For some reason, I do.
All right, well, let's get into deep dives. It's time to talk about berry finding. Since we did actually get, it's not the last berry finding of the categories, but I think we have close to almost everything, right?
Yeah.
So you got the list?
I got the list.
Woohoo!
And I'm checking it twice.
Yeah. All right. So there are many berry finders in the game. Some of them actually in the same categories of the same typing, but what can you tell us about this graphic here, Justin?
So on this graphic, it's just kind of comparing all similar stats and, what about a daily collection, if you did it all the same way at the same area bonus, what type of strength would you get from that Pokemon throughout the day? And it has looks like it's their max level, and then here's their helping speed on the right. The slowest being at, I guess, Altaria at 16 minutes and 44 seconds, all the way down to Raichu at the fastest of 9 minutes and 57 seconds. And essentially, not all berry finders are the same, and sometimes targeting good berry finders just for your general list that you can use in any island is a good thing. So that's why everyone always recommends Raichu. because
Yep.
until Weavile came out, Raichu was absolutely incredible. You can see here in this list, it gets the most berries by far out of anyone at 434 for a given
Jeez.
day. It's so many.
So
And,
fast.
and then the slowest is looks like Altaria at 258. But
Surprisingly, being one of the only dragon berry findings currently, it's not bad, but I believe we'll probably get another one in the future too.
yeah, so there's not many overlaps. There are a couple of duplicates, like Ninetales of Typhlosion, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But really, it's just the difference you're seeing here is the frequency speed and how strong the berry is.
Right. And that's also, of course, not counting area bonuses and everything else that the game can help you and help the Pokemon itself. So it's definitely something that you would
Yeah.
want if you are that type of sleep researcher.
Yeah, and in this scenario, we're really just talking about if it's the favorite berry or not.
Right. Right.
And so in this case, it's not the favorite berry. Let's see. Oh, interesting.
Mm.
Musharna is so like is slow enough, and the Mago berries are weak enough that it's saying if even if Psychic was the favorite berry, that these Pokemon Raichu, Typhlosion, Feraligatr, Meganium, and Walrein would still do better than it.
Interesting.
That's what this
Even
graphic is implying.
so, if we look into things a little bit further, if you really want to maximize getting to a stronger rank during your sleep week, it would be better to have something that's gonna be really, really fast. Maybe be in the island that's gonna be have the same berry typing, but it's not fully like depending on the Pokemon too. But it's not the like having the most recommended one for the berry doesn't necessarily means that you'll get the most out of it at the same time.
Yeah, so I would, instead of like a berry finding S Arbok, for example, I would rather you have a Raichu or a Typhlosion or Feraligatr with berry finding S than investing in that.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
because it's just so much better and faster. So on this list, what do you have at least around level 45 that you've invested in for a berry finder?
I know I have a Raichu, which is almost close to 50, so I know that Raichu is there. Everything else as a berry finding, really, since my gameplay style is mostly ingredients and dishes, I don't have that much power up unless I already have either all the ingredients that I need, or I just have an empty slot that I'm not using. So I know the Raichu has definitely been it's up there for that reason. Plus, I invested a little bit in it, but still. What about you?
Yeah, so I'm going to show mine here. But I've got these guys that are. I'll put it in the edit. But so
Yeah.
I've got Walrein, my shiny Raichu, Meganium, Feraligatr, Typhlosion, and a second Raichu, all at least level 48. And then it goes from 48 up to 55. And they're pretty good. And if you don't know, a Pokemon's berry increases in strength based off the level. So that's why it's so important to increase your berry finding Pokemon's level to as high as you can. That's why I'm trying to like raise them higher, but I'm kind of stuck without like candies and dream shards right now. Like since I've invested in multiple Raichus, I'm stuck with my berry finding S shiny one at level 55 right now. And my
Surprisingly, want to know what my surprisingly highest level berry finding is? It's Eradicate.
nice. Is it one you invested in early on
Yeah,
or
I did.
okay?
Yeah, it was something that I was planning to use, and I think just because it was berry finding, that it was something that I invested regardless. But I mean, it has berry finding, main skill chance down. It's not the worst Pokemon in the world in the end of the day. And that's
Yeah,
without knowing exactly how to play this game before. So,
yeah, and just for discussion's sake, my Marowak at level 40 with a Berry Finding S. Oh, it doesn't have Berry Finding S. Never mind. Okay, but it's lower than several of my other Pokemon that are much lower level at that are also Berry Finders.
I believe I have a couple of Berry Findings that I just haven't invested on. I just there's no reason to invest on them currently, just because of the team that I already have.
Yeah, so if you're gonna invest in a Berry Finding Pokemon, you almost have to have Berry Finding at S. I would say in level 10 or 25. It can be level 50, but you have to be ready for the long haul. Or I just wouldn't use it until you get it to level 50 at that point.
Right. I agree.
Also, let's talk about sub skills that are helpful for berry finders. So, there is obviously berry finding S, there's helping speed. Inventory is a neutral to negative because you could get more ingredients that way, and you don't want ingredients because you want to be finding berries.
Correct.
Skill trigger is another neutral. I mean, it's kind of a positive because all skills are good, at least somewhat good. None of them are negative. They might be neutral, but they're not negative. And then helping bonus, always good. So,
Always.
so really, you just want berry finding S and anything to do with speed.
Correct. Yeah. If you can get all three, then you're golden. But of course, make sure your nature
Yeah,
is not down. So
yeah, yeah. And so like one of my Raichus I invested early on in the game because I couldn't find any berry finding S for a long time was a Raichu with helping speed M and a helping speed of help up nature with ingredient finding down also in the nature. Because what's nice about ingredient finding down, that means you're finding more berries because you're not finding as many ingredients. So it's one of the few times that you actually want ingredient finder down.
the only time, but
Yeah,
not every time. Please.
yeah.
All right.
That's enough about that.
Yes.
And so that brings us to Dream Dex Detective.
Dun dun dun. All right. So Justin's guess this week, because he needs to guess my guess. Anyways, it is highly attuned to the emotions of the people in Pokemon. It is said that this Pokemon appears before people who are in a cheerful mood. On a day when something good has happened, you may be able to see this Pokemon's sleeping with a happy smile on his face.
I'm not going to lie, this one is hard.
Yeah.
I'm like, cheerful mood. I guess Clefairy is happy. But let me think. I'm gonna kind of go through the list because normally I just like to think about it, but this one is so hard. Okay, anything else? What strikes me as happy? The other thing I can think of is like a Shinx. Well, let's see. I feel there's also like Chikorita is happy, but that was like an anime thing. And the Sleep Dex Pichu has a has a smile on its face.
All right. Do you need a hint at this point?
I think I need a hint.
All right. In the beautiful knowing that a Pokemon is coming up very soon, it is a psychic type. Whatever that you need to think of.
Oh, a psychic type.
Yeah, I might just give it away at that point, but it really depends on that. Under your
Okay. It
understanding
is
of the
highly
lore.
attuned to the emotions of people in Pokemon. It said that Blink appears before people who are in a cheerful mood. On a day when something good has happened, you may be able to see Blink sleeping with a happy smile on its face. So now I'm thinking Mime Jr. Or is it Mr. Mime Sr.? You know what? Mr. Mime always has a creepy smile. I'm going to go with Mr. Mime.
It is not.
No.
It is a difficult one, but the only reason, I mean, if you know a little bit about the lore of this Pokemon, it is something that attunes to the emotions. There is a Pokemon with the skill Synchronize.
Gardevoir?
And, well, yes, it is actually Ralts that it gets that. So Ralts is the Pokemon that moves changes because of what the trainer changes. So it even, I think it's even in the regular dance section for Gardevoir, and if it says something along the lines that if the Pokemon feels that their trainer is in extreme danger, it will create a black hole because of it. So it's like
Black hole?
yeah, a mini black hole. It will create a mini black hole just to protect its trainer.
Oh,
That
my
is the Gardevoir
goodness.
was like main dex entry on in the main series, but Gardevoir is of course something that will attune with your emotions at that point.
All right. Well, and on that bombshell, is there anything else, or is that the end of the show?
I mean, you haven't said what my entry forecast this
Oh,
week is.
yes. I'm so distracted by losing. I forgot to give you the one for next week.
There you go.
Next week on Sleep It Off, can Luis guess what this Pokemon Sleep Dex entry is? It reads as the following. Blank is known to sleep by resting one brain hemisphere at a time. Be warned. And it always keeps a vigilant eye on its surroundings and will rush at enemies as soon as it senses their presence.
One brain hemisphere?
The look on Luis's face. He has no idea. He was thrown off once I said brain hemisphere.
Oh man, I can think of like maybe one or two Pokemons with a half a brain of a sleeping, but I can't tell at this point.
If like once you see the actual sleep style that it's associated with, I think you'll get it. But man, I chose it because I thought it would be hard.
Well, I guess you'll have to find out in the next episode.
All right.
Man.
You can email us at sleepitoffpod@gmail.com. Voicemail, text, pictures to 732-835-8639. Our link tree is /Pokemon Professor Network. And if that's all, we will see you next time.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night. Use that half brain hemisphere.